Hey there, welcome to Thursday. Let's talk about Wednesday's recap of the sports algorithms and even a little tax work. That's right. It's getting to be tax time here in the United States. It's due on Monday. Monday's a pretty big day on the April 15th. And I was doing tax work. I built this file several years ago to do my own taxes and to help out with other friends and family to do their taxes. This is a really extensive version of all of the major forms that you would fill out as an American taxpayer or as a non-resident having to file in America for some reason. It has all the different forms and instructions, and I connected them all by formulas, and it's a cool little application. It's not perfect. The US tax code is kind of endless. And so you could keep adding forms and special forms, and it could go on forever. But this has most of it. And it's just a great way to simulate your return if you are preparing it, getting ready to file, and you just kind of want to understand what your liability is, especially if you're simulating it throughout the year. I don't sell it because I'm not a tax professional, but I know how to read and I know how to go through the forms and program. So this thing's really cool. And I was just working on that, doing my own taxes because I'm procrastinating. And as I was doing that, I had made some wagers on the day yesterday. So this will be a story about my wagers and a complaint that I have with Boston Red Sox pitcher Chris Martin, which we will get into later in the video. So let's start with NBA. I did not do a video about NBA yesterday because I wanted it to just win without me saying anything. And NBA, highly predictable once again on Wednesday. Goes 5-3, but the results are actually a little better than that raw in three, and I'll show you why. It has to do with health numbers. Health numbers are related to who is playing in the game and the percent of contribution of players that are out. Meaning at the Atlanta Hawks had 48% of their contributing roster was out yesterday. Who are those guys? They're here. They were Jalen Johnson, AJ Griffin, and Seth Lundy, sorry, and Wesley Matthews, and Oneka Okongwu, and DeJounte Murray, and DeAndre Hunter. Like, did these guys go on sabbatical? Like, where are these guys? Ton of players out. When you see that many players out, and this number is very red right here, it means they got hardly anybody playing. The Hornets were also severely injured at 70%. So that's not good. But these are some of the lowest injury numbers for a full day slate I've ever seen. I don't know whether everybody's sick or they've been playing a ton because it's the regular season. But just notice, look at who loses. A team that's at 52% loses to a team at 70%. Here, the Timberwolves lose to the Nuggets. They were at least at 88%, which is not awful. But Denver Nuggets completely healthy. And so the Timberwolves lose down here. The Clippers at 63%, losing to a healthy Suns by 16 points. Makes a ton of sense when you see the health numbers. Everybody with a better health number on the left side of this list won yesterday. Oklahoma City won, the Cavs won, the Nets won against the severely injured Raptors, and the Mavericks won. Mavericks were the only team that I bet on yesterday as part of my round robin. They were never in doubt. They led this entire game. The Bucks were not as healthy as the Magic, and they still won on the left side here. So that was kind of a toss-up game because of these injury numbers. Algorithm gets it right, but I would just call that kind of dumb luck down there. They win the game by 18, though. Wow. So looking at health numbers was a true determinant of the day. If you stayed away from the teams that were unhealthy, you won every single game. So NBA, of course, I will not talk about Thursday NBA because we want it to keep winning and we want nothing to come out of my mouth. But let's go over to baseball and let's talk about baseball. Okay. Better day overall yesterday at 8-5 with combination string 110. A lot of reliable here. The Yankees, the number one pick of the day, they just don't start putting any offense up till late in the game. They leave the bases loaded to finish the game, and they don't beat Miami. It just happened, right? But a lot of other things win. Cleveland comes back to win to beat the White Sox after being down. Texas, never in doubt, beats Oakland. Dodgers lose by one and run into a tough pitcher, I guess, with Minnesota. That was surprising. Arizona wins. Boston, we will talk about in a second. San Diego crushes it. Kansas City crushes it. San Francisco crushes it. Tampa Bay, never in doubt, wins. And Milwaukee wins. Then you have Toronto and St. Louis losing. But when we looked at the average of all combinations, it had Philly and Seattle on this list, and they win. So this is actually a really good combination string. Some other combination strings that did even better, though. Combination 487 and 322. When we look at those, we'll see that those are actually heavily weighted on innings pitched per appearance. And I think what that means is that this day was all about the starting pitchers. I would imagine starting pitchers went pretty deep in most of these games, and they performed according to plan yesterday. If they had a low ERA, they didn't let in any runs. Well, who was Minnesota's pitcher? Yeah, Wade Miley. He must have gone the distance and hardly let in maybe a run or two. And so this is what led the day. Hunter Green also pitched well, I'm sure, but it was a 3-2 game. No, sorry. What am I looking at? Not Milwaukee, Minnesota. Where's the Minnesota game? This one. Yeah, this one was Chris Paddock, who I guess just pitched a really good game. Better than. Yeah, I thought there'd be more runs in this game, and there weren't. Could have been cold in Minnesota, actually. Could have had weather involved in that game, messed up with runs. Anyway, all right. So this combination string does pretty well, but I wouldn't use this combination string tomorrow because it just doesn't put enough weight on other offensive things that you need, like lineup factor and BABIP and stuff. So this is, once again, kind of some dumb luck at 11-2. And I'm going to stick with what we've been doing with the combination string 110. And I'm also going to run the average of all combinations and look at that again, because that clearly was helpful as it flipped these two games. And really, you only lose these three in the range where you should be betting. So Yankees, for some reason, don't pull it off. Dodgers, for some reason, don't pull it off, but it's close. Now let's discuss Boston. So I had a 7-team round robin today. I had the Mavericks yesterday. I had the Mavericks in the basketball algorithm. I had Texas, the Yankees, Arizona. No, I didn't have Arizona. I had Texas, the Yankees, Boston, San Diego, Kansas City, and Tampa Bay. These 6 plus the Mavericks. I bet the 5s only. I was like, let's just try to hit lightning here. Yankees, I could tell we're going to be losing the whole game. So I was like, all right, I'm going to lose one of these. So the pivotal swing game was Boston, where it was basically a $500 swing on Boston. If they lost, I was about even on the day. And if they won, I was going to make about $500. They were up 5-0. They were up 5-0. And they decided to bring in, after they let in 3 runs in 1 inning, they decided to bring in Chris Martin. He is 37 years old. He pitched 55 games last year, 51 innings. He was 4-1. Okay. His ERA was 1.05. His whip was 1. Things looked great for Chris Martin last year. Do you know what Chris Martin did this year? He came into that game. He threw 2 passed balls, hit a batter, and then gave up a 3-run home run to make them lose this game 7-5. I was actually screaming at the television while I was doing tax work. It was ruining my day of tax work to watch that happen. It reminded me why I cannot stand baseball. The game just won't end. And sometimes you're watching a pitcher that you know should not be in the game. First of all, after you walk 2 batters and hit somebody, they're allowed to take you out. Why didn't they do that? Baltimore, a team that I'm actually a fan of, they're a local team, comes back down 5-0 and wins this game and costs me a $500 swing. I didn't lose $500. I just didn't make an extra $500. And man, I was annoyed. So that's my story. I'm filing a class action lawsuit against Chris Martin for throwing too many pass balls in 1 inning. He just kept throwing everything in the dirt and everything to the backstop. People kept moving around, coming home, and then he throws the big, huge home run ball over the Green Monster. That's baseball for you guys. So it is frustrating, but I will say this: the only time it's acceptable to watch or listen to baseball is when you're doing something else. Like, I understand if you're a hard worker, doing manual labor, put the earbuds in, listen to Charlie Slows announce for the Nationals. That's fine. If you're not doing anything else and you're just watching baseball and you're scoring at home, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. You got to be doing something else. So today, while I continue to do more work, there are day games, and I'll probably be listening to them or watching to them and being frustrated once again. But that's trials and tribulations of the sports predictor, sports gambler. So not a bad day. I feel like we did come back a little bit, and clearly there was benefit in running all of the macro averages, because you end up going 10 and 3 using the average of all combinations. So clearly that's something to use every day. All right. There will be a private MLB video. I better get going. There's games that starting at like 12:30 or 1 o'clock. All right. Good luck. I hope your picks won yesterday. Of course, NBA continues to be the friend of the sports gambler. That's for sure. So if you want a copy, it's $25. And if you want to get on the email list for the next 19 days of the MLB algorithm and get these emails and get this file to work with yourself, you can go to kenbraverman.com. And if for some reason you want my tax file, let me know, because I'll probably just send it over to you and tell you that, it's not complete. But as a tax preparer, a personal accountant, something like that, it's actually really helpful. It connects everything together. You're like, how much money did I make? What were your W-2 wages for the year? So you made 100, not 1,000. So you made $100,000. And, if you just flat out made $100,000 and your single filing status and did nothing else, it'll actually show you what your tax burden was. Your tax is $14,750. Bam. According to last year. I'm still updating the rates. So it's not even this year's rates. I'm in the middle of still doing all this stuff. It takes a while. All right, guys. Good luck. I hope your picks won yesterday, and they continue to be winning.